I'm sat here trying to figure out how to start this video and I just can't stop smiling. So I'm just going to show it to you. This is Pave Your Way with Chronic Illness. It's a self-discovery journal and it's available to pre-order from wherever you like to get your books right now. Right, I need to chill so I can tell you about this properly. This book is the companion to How to Do Life with a Chronic Illness, which is my book that I published last year. And this is, while it's technically a book, this is very much an interactive journal. You can write in it, you can colour in it, you can scribble in it, and it's basically full of structured activities that are designed to help you reconnect with your sense of self while also taking account of the fact that you're living with a chronic illness that might have altered your life in more ways than anybody can say. Now, the premise behind this book is something that you may have seen me talk about online before, and that's the fact that I've always really struggled with the narrative that's like, don't let your disability define you, you shouldn't let your disability define you. Because as somebody living with an energy limiting condition, my primary diagnosis is ME/CFS, I can tell you without a doubt that ME defines me in probably every conceivable way. And that's not something that I let happen. That's not something that I have any degree of choice over. When you're living with something that is so debilitating and just so life-altering in so many ways, it's impossible not to let that impact your sense of self in some way or another. But in the same breath, it obviously goes without saying that I don't want my disability to be my entire identity. I don't want that to be my whole brand. And there are so many other things that make me me, other than just my chronic illness and my health situation. I know that for me personally, a lot of my work and a lot of my online stuff does hinge around that, but there's so many broader elements to consider as well. And something that I feel really strongly about is kind of getting that balance right between communicating that I have this condition and it's changed everything and it dictates my life in more ways than I can count, and that's not something that I have much control over. But at the same time, there are also so many other facets to me and my identity and so many broader things that make me who I am as well. So basically, the premise behind designing this journal was that I wanted to create a resource that would be a safe space where people in similar situations to me could perhaps explore and reconnect with that sense of identity that's been within them all along and sort of touch base with that, but not in a way that invalidates the really debilitating and life-changing thing that you're going through. So I wanted to create this resource that would always, I was going to say hold space. The phrase I would normally use is, I would say, well, holding space for your chronic illness or the challenges of living with chronic illness in an ableist world. But Wicked, the movie, has ruined that phrase for me. I can't say holding space seriously anymore.
This week, people are taking the lyrics of Defying Gravity and really holding space with that.
I suppose what I'm trying to say is this resource is designed to be a safe space where you can reconnect with your sense of self while honouring the challenges of living with a chronic illness in the ableist world that we live in. I will mention as well that I'm going to link a blog post below which will probably explain all of this much more eloquently than I'm putting it right now. I'm quite sleep deprived at the minute, so I don't think I'm doing a very good job of this today, but the day that I'm filming this is going to be book announcement day. I've just took my picture for that, so I thought I'll sit down and film this now while I've got the momentum going. Yeah, so I won't go too much into the 6 different sections that make up this book because you can click the link to find out more about them if you want to. But what I will say is that in each of the 6 sections, I'll find an example. I tried so hard not to start filling this one in, the version that I've got, because I wanted to save it and do this first, but I couldn't resist, so I have actually started filling it in already. Not even sorry. So let me go to a bit that I've not done yet. I've literally only had this a couple of days as well and I've been away, so it's like I'm still having all the feels looking through it as well. I still can't actually believe that I'm holding it in my hands right now. Okay, so this is section 4, which is called Create Your Happy Place, and in each section you'll find some low battery questions, which are for like the days when your brain isn't braining and the cognitive fatigue is winning and you just need something that's like distracting but not overwhelming and not all consuming. We have medium battery questions for when you're maybe perhaps more around your baseline. And then in each section, we've also got some better battery questions, which are probably the ones that you will appreciate the most and get the most out of when you're having perhaps a calmer symptom day. And I deliberately use the term better battery rather than full battery because I probably won't be the only one who can't remember what full battery actually feels like. Yeah, so there's all different bits you can dabble in depending on how you're feeling on a given day. There's also no set timeline for completing the book. There's no obligation to return to it every day, so you can work your way through it at a pace that suits you. Although I would probably recommend doing the sections chronologically if you really want to get the most out of it. But within that, I wanted to make sure there was a lot of flexibility, because goodness knows, sometimes we do everything right and we still don't know how we're going to feel on a given day. Let me see. Okay, there's nothing too personal on this page. So like, this is a low battery question, and this is just at the very beginning. So these are just the basics. So you've got things you can write in, things you can circle, things you can rank. And then like the medium battery questions, you've got ones that might perhaps require a little bit more thought, spaces to write and stuff. Again, I don't want to show you too much of that. We've got things like word searches, we've got little puzzles, we've got spaces where you can write more in-depth answers and reflect. You've got things you can label, and then you probably just caught a glimpse, but arguably one of my favourite elements is that it's got colouring pages. I'm so excited, and I'm so grateful to have the brilliant Victoria Barron as the illustrator for this book. Their work is absolutely incredible, and I'm going to leave a link to their website down below as well. Yeah, I cannot flipping wait to start the colouring pages. I've really endeavoured to make sure that all of the questions and all of the activities are a good use of our energy. Like, the energy that we have per day is so valuable, and it's often such a limited resource that I wanted to make sure that you could really get something out of the things I was doing, rather than it just being chucked in there for the sake of it, or maybe being a bit tokenistic or cringy. So I've really tried to make this a useful resource that will be really enjoyable and insightful for you to complete. And the other really good thing is that do I want to say this? Yeah, I'm going to say this. Writing this book is the first time that my master's degree has ever come in useful for anything. It's not even a full master's degree, it's half a master's degree, it's a postgraduate diploma, and you might not even know about it because all of that scenario actually predates this YouTube channel, I believe. That was not a good time. Not a good time in my life. I was not thriving, and honestly, the postgrad degree is in health psychology, and it was really interesting, but I can safely say that none of it has ever come in useful for anything, really, except for creating this journal, because some of the approaches I learned in my health psychology masters have informed the approaches that I've taken in this book and how I've structured the activities and what I hope people will get out of them. So if nothing else, the postgrad has finally come in useful for something. Thank goodness. But ultimately, I really hope this journal helps to fill a gap. I found with writing my last book, How to Do Life with a Chronic Illness, that what I really felt passionately about was providing information and resources about living with chronic illness that spanned outside of just the medical elements and the health related elements. And even with things like journals and practical things, like there are a lot of things out there that are symptom trackers, for example, medication recording methods, and all of these things can be really useful and they definitely have their place. But when I had the opportunity to do this kind of resource, I knew that I didn't want to focus just on the health related and the physical stuff. So I've taken a similar approach, and that's why I've chosen to focus more on broader lifestyle and the things that bring you joy and the things that bring you purpose and your communication styles, and just this piece around identity as well. That's the stuff that I feel really aligns with me and where I am at the minute as well. And from what people have told me based on the last book, I think that's something that a lot of people are feeling really keenly as well. For me personally, for many years, I actually felt like a failure because I couldn't really separate my identity out from my chronic illness for all the reasons that I've touched on already. I really admired disabled people who had their disability and they just lived their life completely on their terms and they just did everything that they wanted to do, and the fact that they were disabled was just a fact. It didn't have this large spanning effect on every other part of their life and identity as well. But again, as somebody with an energy limiting condition, that's just not something that I can relate to. That's not the way that things have panned out for me. And it has taken a long time for me to kind of come to terms with the fact that just because I'm not one of those people who can completely push my health stuff aside and just live the life I really want to, I think it's just understanding that that's not a personal failure of mine. It's not a reflection on my character. It's just the fact that the disability I happen to have is an energy limiting condition, and it affects me in a way that has wide spanning consequences on literally every waking moment of my day. And I say that as somebody who always says that they're very much one of the lucky ones. I am not severely affected by ME. I'm much better than I used to be a few years ago. So if I feel this profoundly, I've no doubt that others feel this really profoundly as well. So if you are one of those people who thinks, I wish I could separate my illness and my health out from my identity and I'm not able to do it, I really hope that you know as well that that's not a reflection on you. It's not a weakness. It says nothing about your strength of character or your determination to succeed. And through writing the things that I do and in creating resources like this, I really hope to further that conversation about quality of life and just recognising that there are so many things that make us who we are, and chronic illness can be part of that picture as well. And it's about how those things intersect and what we do with that once we've realised that that's the case. So if any of that resonates with you, and again, I'm not doing a good job of this, so please go and read the blog post if you can. I'm not, like, my brain is not braining today. But if any of that does resonate with you, I really hope you get a lot out of this journal. I hope it helps you to reconnect with that sense of you-ness and just appreciate all the wonderful quirks and intricacies that make you the brilliant, brilliant person that you are. Honestly, I'm not going to keep going on, but it is still so bonkers to me that this is in my hands right now. Like, I actually wrote this at the start of 2024, before my other book came out. That's how long ago all of this was. And I feel really lucky to be publishing with JKP again. I'm really thankful for their ongoing support and for believing in me, and my agent as well, Jane. I really appreciate you. Thank you. But arguably the biggest thank you should go to you. Anybody who's watching this video right now, anybody who champions my work online, anybody who has shown support for my previous book, like, you are a big part of the reason that makes stuff like this possible. And most importantly, you are part of the reason that I've started to learn how to pave my own way forward as well. Like I say, you can pre-order your copy of Pave Your Way with Chronic Illness right now, or order it depending on the date this goes out. You can get it from anywhere you like your books, but I will leave links below in case it's easier for anybody. Please consider telling your local bookshop or requesting it in your local library. Any support you can throw behind the book at this early stage would honestly mean the world. It makes such a difference, and I don't like to ask because I know people's time is so valuable and so limited, but anything you can do will honestly mean the world to me. Right, I actually am going to stop talking now. I'll just say thank you so much as always for watching. I really appreciate you being here. You can subscribe if you want, and I'll see you next time.